Have you ever looked in the mirror and thought, I got a full night's sleep, my outfit looks fine, so why do I still look tired? The truth is, it might not be your makeup or your mood. It could be your hair. Not the color or the length necessarily, but the style. Your haircut could be quietly working against you, making you look older or more worn out than you actually feel. After 50, something amazing happens. We stop dressing for trends and start dressing for ourselves. We realize it's not about chasing youth. It's about choosing what feels right, what fits who we are now. And your hairstyle? That's one of the most powerful ways to reflect that choice. But here's the catch. Some hairstyles that used to make us feel bold and beautiful can actually be dragging down our energy today. Not because we've aged, but because they simply don't fit the woman we've become. In this video, we're going to talk about 3 popular hairstyles that might be aging you without you even realizing it. And more importantly, I'll show you 3 fresh, elegant alternatives that can help you feel lighter, brighter, and more like yourself again, without losing your identity or spending hours in front of the mirror. Because at the end of the day, this isn't about looking younger. It's about looking alive. It's about showing up as the woman you've earned the right to be. Confident, radiant, and completely in tune with where you are right now. Let's get into it. Hairstyle mistake. 1. Over-teased, stiff volume. That ages you instantly. Let's start with the first hairstyle that might be quietly adding years to your look without you even realizing it. Over-teased, overly stiff volume. You know the style. Big hair, high crown, hair sprayed into place like it's not allowed to move. For a lot of us, this was the go-to fix when our hair started to thin or lose its bounce. Tease the roots, spray like crazy, and voila. Instant volume, instant confidence. And honestly, it worked. Back then. But now, it might be working against you. Here's why. As we get older, our hair changes. It becomes finer, more delicate, and less forgiving. When we try to force that same old-school volume onto modern hair, what we end up with isn't lift, it's stiffness. Instead of looking vibrant and full of life, the hair starts to look rigid and outdated. And that's not because big hair is bad. It's because it's out of sync with who you are now. Think about it this way. Your clothes have probably evolved over the years. You're not wearing shoulder pads or acid wash jeans anymore, right? So, why are we still holding on to hairstyles that belonged to a different decade? One of the biggest problems with over-teased volume is how it affects your facial proportions. If your face has softened with age, and that's totally natural, adding height on top can make your face appear shorter or rounder than it really is. It throws things off. Plus, big, stiff hair can actually draw attention away from your features instead of enhancing them. It becomes the focal point. People notice the hair. Not your eyes, not your smile, not your energy. And let's not forget how much effort it takes. Teasing, spraying, brushing out the tangles every night. Your scalp is probably begging for mercy, and the more you tease, the more fragile your hair becomes. That means more breakage, more thinning, and ironically, even less volume in the long run. The truth is, volume isn't the problem. We all want a little lift. It feels youthful, energetic, alive. But what we need is modern volume. Soft, natural movement. A little root lift here. Some gentle layering there. Nothing that feels like you're wearing a helmet. Hair should move with you, not fight against you. So if you've been holding on to big hair because it made you feel glamorous years ago, that's okay. It served you then. But now it might be time for something that supports who you are today. Elegant, effortless, and still just as stunning. Hairstyle mistake number 2. Jet black hair. That's too harsh for maturing skin. Let's talk about one of the most common hair color mistakes women over 50 make, holding on to jet black hair. Now, before we go any further, let's be clear. Black hair can be beautiful. It's bold, it's dramatic, and for many years, it might have made you feel confident, powerful, even mysterious. But as our skin tone softens with age, jet black hair can start to work against us in some pretty surprising ways. Here's the thing. As we get older, our skin loses some of that natural warmth and flush it used to have. It becomes a little more translucent, a little more delicate. So when you frame that softer skin with a dense, dark color like jet black, the contrast becomes sharp. Sometimes too sharp. It can exaggerate fine lines, highlight under-eye circles, and draw attention to uneven skin tone. Instead of lifting your features, it weighs them down. And here's a little truth bomb most people won't say out loud. Sometimes, jet black doesn't look fierce anymore. It looks flat. Especially if there's no dimension or softness in the color. It absorbs light rather than reflecting it, and that can make your hair look heavy, stiff, or even dull. And let's be honest, if your hair is already dry or thinning, which is totally normal after 50, black dye only emphasizes that dryness and fragility. Every brittle strand suddenly stands out. Oh, and let's talk about maintenance. Jet black hair is unforgiving when it comes to roots. A quarter-inch of gray or white regrowth shows up like a neon sign. That means you're either coloring your hair every 2 weeks or walking around constantly worried that someone's going to spot your roots before you do. And that kind of pressure? It's exhausting. But the most important point here isn't about what black hair says. It's about what it no longer matches. Maybe at 30 it made you feel edgy or bold. But now it might not reflect your energy, your softness, or your light. And that's okay. Evolving is part of the beauty of aging. So what's the alternative? You don't have to go blonde overnight. Even shifting slightly, maybe to a soft espresso brown, adding caramel or chestnut highlights, or gently lightening the front pieces around your face, can make a huge difference. It brings harmony between your hair and your skin, rather than creating tension. It reflects light, adds dimension, and most importantly, it lets your natural beauty shine instead of competing with it. So, if you've been holding on to that bottle of black dye like a security blanket, maybe it's time to ask, is this still serving me? Or is it just a habit I've outgrown? Hairstyle mistake number 3. Chaotic layers that don't work with your hair. Anymore. Let's talk about layers, because for a long time, layered haircuts were the go-to solution for adding body, shape, and a little flair. And when they're done right, layers can absolutely be flattering. But when they're not, especially after 50, they can turn into a styling nightmare that's aging you instead of elevating you. Here's what happens. As we get older, our hair changes. It's not just thinner. It's more delicate, more unpredictable, and let's face it, not as easy to manage as it used to be. So when you get a cut with too many layers, or layers that are too short, too uneven, or just don't blend well, you end up with a style that's constantly fighting your natural texture. Ever wake up, brush your hair, and it flips out in 5 directions? One side's curling under, the other side's sticking out, the back's a total mystery? That's chaotic layering in action. You spend more time with hot tools, brushes, and styling products just trying to get it to behave, and in the end, it still doesn't fall into place. And who has time or wrist strength for a 30-minute blow dry every single morning? But it's not just about convenience. Bad layers can also drag down your face, especially if they fall right below the cheekbones or jawline without framing anything. Instead of lifting your features, they create visual clutter. They draw attention away from your eyes and smile, and create what I call facial noise. A kind of visual mess that hides the beauty you already have. Even worse, if your hair is fine or thinning, and you get it heavily layered, it can actually make it look even thinner. You lose weight where you need volume, and suddenly your scalp or crown is more visible than you'd like. That's not only frustrating, it's disheartening. Because your haircut should make you feel beautiful, not like you're constantly trying to fix something that doesn't want to work. So how do you know if your layers are helping or hurting? Simple. If your haircut is making your mornings harder, your styling routine longer, and your face less visible, not more, then it's not the right cut for you anymore. It might have looked amazing in your 30s. But now, you deserve a haircut that works with your hair, not against it. Something that highlights your best features, feels easy to manage, and still lets you look polished and put together without the daily battle. Because aging isn't about doing less, it's about doing what actually works. And a haircut that fights your hair texture every day, that's not working. Let it go. Trust me, there's a better option waiting. And we're about to talk about those next. Youthful alternative number 1. The soft bob. Simple, stylish, and incredibly flattering. Now that we've talked about the styles that might be holding you back, let's shift the energy and talk about what can lift you up. And first on that list is one of the most timeless, elegant, and surprisingly low-maintenance cuts out there. The soft bob. Now I know when some people hear bob, they picture a boxy, stiff haircut that screams librarian from the 80s. But the modern soft bob? It's nothing like that. It's fluid, it's flattering, and it works with your features, not against them. This cut usually falls somewhere between the chin and the collarbone and has gentle, subtle layering that gives your hair movement and shape without looking choppy or overstyled. Here's why it's such a great choice after 50. It frames the face beautifully. It lifts the jawline ever so slightly, softens the cheekbones, and opens up the eyes. It also creates the illusion of volume, especially if your hair has become finer over the years. That's the secret power of the soft bob. It makes your face the center of attention in the best way possible. And the best part? It's ridiculously easy to style. No rollers, no round brush acrobatics, no 45-minute blow-dry. This is the kind of haircut that looks good air-dried, tousled with your fingers, or styled in 5 minutes flat. It's chic, it's current, and it gives you that effortless, I woke up like this confidence without needing to try so hard. Another beautiful thing about the soft bob? It plays so well with color. Whether you're embracing your natural grays, blending them with some soft highlights, or still rocking a dimensional brunette or blonde, this cut lets your color breathe. The light hits in just the right places, adding depth and texture, which is especially important as our hair starts to lose some of its natural pigment. But more than just how it looks, let's talk about how it feels. So many women describe getting a soft bob as freeing. It's a gentle reset, a fresh start, a way of saying, I'm not trying to be who I was at 30, I'm fully owning who I am right now. And that's powerful. Because the goal isn't to look younger, it's to look vibrant, to feel like yourself, but with a little extra light, a little extra lift, and a lot less effort. If you've been stuck in a long, shapeless style or fighting with layers that won't cooperate, the soft bob might be exactly the breath of fresh air your look and your spirit have been waiting for. Youthful alternative number 2. The textured lob. Light, versatile, and full of life. If you're not quite ready to go short, or if you've spent most of your life loving the feeling of hair brushing your shoulders, then the textured lob or long bob might be your perfect match. This cut typically falls right at, or just below the shoulders, and is paired with soft, strategic layers that add movement without turning into a high-maintenance mess. It's the perfect middle ground between long and short, long enough to feel feminine and familiar, but short enough to stay fresh, flattering, and manageable. Why is this cut so ideal for women over 50? Because it lifts everything. The face, the hair, the energy. The layers are subtle, but they create that soft bounce that draws attention to the eyes and frames the jawline beautifully. It adds lightness and youthfulness without screaming for attention. It's not about trying to look 25. It's about looking your best right now. And if your hair has started to thin, lose texture, or feel a little less lively than it used to, the textured lob is a gift. It works with fine or medium hair, and those gentle layers create movement and softness that makes your hair feel fuller without needing tons of styling. A quick pass with a curling iron, some sea salt spray, or even braiding your hair overnight for some natural waves. That's often all it takes to bring this cut to life. It's also incredibly versatile. You can wear it loose and wavy for that beachy, relaxed look. You can go sleek for a polished appearance. You can tuck it behind your ears, throw it in a low ponytail, pin one side up. It all works. It moves with you, adapts to your lifestyle, and always looks intentional, even when it's effortless. Plus, this cut is a dream when it comes to growing out your hair or transitioning to a new look. If you're easing out of dark color into grays or blending in highlights, the movement of a textured lob disguises roots and color lines beautifully. It softens everything, including the journey into a more natural color. But maybe the most important part? It just feels modern. Not trendy in a fast fashion way, but timeless in the way that makes people say, "You look amazing. What did you change?" And sometimes that little shift, that slight trim, that added movement, is all you need to feel renewed. So if you're looking for a hairstyle that brings lightness back to your look and works with your natural beauty, not against it, the textured lob might be the answer you didn't know you were looking for. Youthful alternative number 3. Curtain bangs with soft layers, a gentle frame that brightens your face. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Bangs after 50? No way. We've all had that one haircut disaster in our past. The blunt bangs that took forever to grow out, required constant trims, and lived under a collection of bobby pins for months. But let me reassure you, curtain bangs are not those bangs. Curtain bangs are the grown-up, graceful version of fringe. They're parted down the middle or slightly off to the side and fall softly on either side of your face, like, well, curtains, draping gently instead of sitting stiffly across your forehead. And the effect they create? Nothing short of magical. Here's why curtain bangs are such a win after 50. They soften everything. As our faces naturally change with age, maybe the forehead lines become a bit more defined. Maybe the eyes sit a little deeper. Maybe the cheeks are a touch less full. Curtain bangs help bring the focus back where it belongs. They frame the face, draw attention to your eyes, your smile, your energy. They don't hide your face. They highlight it in the most flattering, feminine way. And when paired with soft, face-framing layers, the results are incredibly flattering. The light layering lifts your features, adds dimension around the cheekbones, and gives thinning hair at the sides a little more presence and shape. Together they create movement, elegance, and that effortless, just enough style we're all looking for. Plus, curtain bangs are low commitment. Unlike blunt bangs, they grow out beautifully. If you decide they're not for you, they blend right into the rest of your cut. If you want to pin them back, no problem. And styling? Easy. You don't need to master a round brush or spend 15 minutes in front of the mirror. A little styling cream, your fingers, and maybe a light swoop with a curling iron is all it takes. Another bonus? They work with any hair texture. Straight, wavy, even curly. And they play well with color, too. If you're growing out gray or blending in highlights, curtain bangs can help distract from root lines, and draw attention upward, away from areas you may not love as much. But maybe the best part is this. Curtain bangs make a subtle but powerful statement. They say, I'm still curious. I still like to change things up. I still want to feel beautiful, not because I'm chasing youth, but because I'm honoring who I am now. So if you're looking for a gentle change that brings softness, brightness, and a little playfulness back into your look, curtain bangs with soft layers might be just the thing to help you fall in love with your hair again. Your hair is part of you, not a time machine. Let's be honest. When we talk about hair, we're not just talking about strands of protein growing from our scalp. We're talking about identity, memories, milestones. How many times have you looked in the mirror and seen not just your hair, but your story? Maybe that long ponytail reminds you of raising your kids. Maybe that rich, dark dye felt like your armor when you needed to feel strong. Maybe those curls, once wild and free, now fall differently, and that shift, however subtle, reminds you that time is passing. But here's the thing. Your hair was never supposed to keep you frozen in time. It's not meant to hold on to your 20s, your 30s, or even your 40s. It's meant to evolve with you, to reflect the woman you are today, not the one you used to be, or the one someone else thinks you should be, because you, right now, are not less. You are more grounded, more self-aware, more clear on what matters and what doesn't. And your hairstyle? It should rise to meet that energy. This isn't about trying to turn back the clock. It's about owning the beauty, the wisdom, and yes, the freedom that comes with being over 50. It's about choosing softness over stiffness, movement over structure, expression over perfection. When your hair reflects who you really are, not a trend, not a rule, not a version of you from 10 years ago, you stop chasing approval and start attracting peace, confidence, ease. And that's what I want for you. I want your hair to make your mornings easier, your reflection feel lighter, your spirit feel lifted. I want it to match the power of your presence, not distract from it. So whether it's a soft bob, a textured lob, or just letting go of the styles that no longer serve you, remember this. The right haircut doesn't make you younger. It makes you shine. And the more you shine from within, the more the world reflects that right back to you. If this video spoke to you, even just a little, I hope you'll take a moment to pause and think about what your hair has been saying for you, and what you'd like it to say moving forward. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell me, what's your current hairstyle? And is there one of these fresh looks you're curious to try next? Or maybe you've already found a style that makes you feel amazing. Share it. You never know who you might inspire. And if you found even one helpful tip today, I hope you'll subscribe. This channel is all about celebrating women in the second half of life, because we are not done growing, glowing, or redefining what beauty means. Also, if you have a sister, friend, or someone you love who might be stuck in a hairstyle rut, send this video her way. Sometimes all it takes is one honest conversation and a little inspiration to help someone feel like themselves again. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. Your presence here means more than you know. You are radiant, exactly as you are. And trust me, the best is still to come. Until next time, take care of yourself and your beautiful hair.